Every year, the greatest democracy on earth elects new leaders. We are proud to present the election of 2016, or How to Steal the Election.
It's election season and time to play voter suppression. And here are your usual methods to stop the vote: voter ID, Voter Rights Act reversal, early voting, same-day registration, proof of citizenship.
I mean, who is denying people the right to vote?
It's the politicians, who some might call extremists. They'll do anything to win an election. Their positions have turned off huge blocks of voters, so they'll do whatever they have to suppress the votes of the blacks, Latinos, women, the young, the poor.
Look, people marched and fought and died for the right to vote, and they want to legislate away that sacrifice to stay in power?
I have news for you, Lewis. These 5 justices recently overturned a key section of the Voting Rights Act, the 1965 law that protected the rights of minority voters.
The Supreme Court has just issued a ruling in a case challenging part of a historic voting rights law.
The lawsuit focuses on the federal government's power to review any change in voting procedures. It applies to 16 states where there's a history of discrimination against minority voters.
Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the majority opinion that says there is no voter suppression. Fox journalist Megyn Kelly will explain.
Should states in the South continue to have to pay for the sins of the 50s and 60s and prior to that, when racial discrimination was rampant?
Nobody is seriously complaining today, at least I haven't heard it, that there is systematic efforts on the part of the government in the South to keep people of color from voting. Anybody who wants to vote can vote, and that's the way it should be.
But that's not the way it is.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said gutting the law that has helped end voter discrimination is like throwing away your umbrella in a rainstorm because you are not getting wet.
Voter suppression battles are brewing all across the country. I talk about them every night. Take a look at this map. I'll do it again. At least 82 restrictive voting bills have been introduced in 31 states. This is not just a Southern problem.
Disinformation, misinformation, redistricting.
It's called gerrymandering. It happens every 10 years. Elected officials in power get to draw district maps favorable to themselves.
Elected officials shouldn't get to choose who gets to choose elected officials.
Voter ID, early voting, and last but not least, polling place closures.
Why stop people from voting early?
Well, early voting makes it easier to vote. Look at that line.
What the hell is that?
They planned this, Lewis. If you don't want everybody to vote, you make it harder. Make working people stand in long lines, give them fewer polls, and close them early.
What's next, a poll tax?
Yep. Here's someone who will tell you all about it.
My name is Dorothy Guilford. I was born May the 3rd, 1920 in Montgomery, Alabama, and I paid my poll tax that year and voted. I was nervous though, and then they abolished the poll tax, which I was glad because $1.50 was $1.50. And it was a long line to vote. In fact, they came out on the sidewalk. Now that, I think, discouraged a lot of people because so many had to go back to work.
And what is all the fuss about IDs? Extremists believe we have a big problem with voter fraud. Do we?
From the Washington Post, a comprehensive investigation of voter impersonation finds 31 credible incidents out of 1 billion ballots cast.
Uh-oh. 31 in a billion. Somebody must feel very unpopular with voters to make a stink about this. The poll tax is back, but they call it voter ID. They cost money, and not $1.50. Passports, driver's licenses, state-issued photo IDs, this will affect the poor, the elderly, and minorities. That's a great tactic for politicians who voted against Social Security and Medicare. If you don't have the proper ID, you can be kicked off the voting roster. These states purged hundreds of thousands of voters, but it's different in every state. So find out what's going on where you live.
Women, what do they want?
Because of Planned Parenthood this year,
Women want abortion rights and birth control.
Planned Parenthood provides a full range of health care services to millions of women, men, and young people every year, including cancer screenings, birth control, STD testing and treatment, and abortion.
And pay equity is still #1 with women. Women want an end to domestic violence. In the United States, 3 women will be murdered by their partner every day.
Nearly 60% of couples with children have 2 parents who work outside the home. Increasingly, they are asking why employers are not doing more to help.
According to the United Nations, we and Papua New Guinea are the only countries in the world that do not provide any paid time off for new mothers.
One more roadblock. Women may have married or divorced and changed their name, requiring a new ID. Look at this dangerous voting group. They also demand birth control, abortion rights, LGBT rights, and an end to sexual assault. They are college students.
I'm a student, and these new voter ID laws are really confusing. It's going to make it so a lot of students and young people can't vote.
You can lie to students about where to vote, lie about re-registering, move polling places far away from the campus, intimidate kids about losing their financial aid.
Go vote November 4th.
Everyone should vote.
I need you to go vote on November 4th. I would like people to start voting.
When this country began, not everybody could vote. I think if you can vote, then that's your responsibility to vote.
I don't think that one vote really makes a big difference.
It's not true. I don't believe it. 537 people decided the 2000 election, and you want me to tell people that one vote doesn't count?
No, Harrison. We want you to tell people that every American citizen has the right and the obligation to vote. You wouldn't let someone steal your phone, your wallet, your car. Is it really okay to let a group of political gangsters steal your country?
Not on my watch, baby!
Then don't let them steal your vote.
Okay, we're gonna vote now.
All right, bye.
Say no to voter IDs. Say no to early poll closings. Say yes to more polling places on campuses. Make sure you know where to vote and make sure you vote. Conservatives don't want you to vote. They want the right people to vote.